night wore on, these sort of A-list names would go home. I mean, it's like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, okay, the party's over, let's leave. Well, for some people, the party was only just beginning. There would be like back bedrooms where Diddy and his, let's say, more debauchery-oriented friends would have a different kind of party.
She went on to say that as the leader, Diddy was never told no. She says Diddy was obviously the leader of the pack, who took advantage of young girls who had showbiz dreams. It didn't matter if the girls were underage either.
We have an individual who was 14 years old. We have one who was 15. 25 of the 120 individuals who are plaintiffs in these cases were minors at the time of the acts complained of.
You know, so if you don't have what they need, they're gonna leave.
Right.
Gotta keep them there.
Right.
You need locks on the doors.
Diddy. More lawsuits are piling up. And one of the victims that launched a new lawsuit talks in detail about these freak-off parties where Diddy was allowed to exploit young women and men. It's crazy.
Now to a new wave of lawsuits that are filed against Sean Diddy Combs. For the first time, the 54-year-old music mogul is being sued by a person alleging he was abused by Combs as a minor.
The suits were filed anonymously by 4 men and 2 women in a Manhattan court Monday.
It's highly significant because it not only shows that there are other alleged victims out there who are willing to file a civil lawsuit, but it also gives the prosecution more access to the possibility of having other witnesses who tell horrific stories.
I tell you, this is going to be bigger than Cosby, R. Kelly, Weinstein, probably. It's up there with Epstein. I think it's possible it may be bigger than Epstein. The amount of fallout this story with this dude and all the things that he's been doing for the last 30 years. So obviously we're going to talk about some of the issues that's going on right now. 6 more lawsuits coming in, basically an avalanche of lawsuits. At the end of the day, Diddy is going to probably spend the rest of his life in jail and probably lose all of his money. The amount of allegations point to obviously the pattern of abuse that's been spanning for decades, and the fact that these cases are coming out from both men and women, young and old, shows how disgusting this dude is. So when you compare this to figures, like I said earlier, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, cases that involved maybe, I guess, far fewer accusers, even I think one is too much, obviously. This situation appears to be more sinister, more darker. Diddy is facing a wave of testimony that's going to probably cement his downfall. This is potential life behind bars. I think he's going to spend the rest of his life behind bars. The courts are going to use these growing number of claims to build a really solid case against him. And obviously, if they succeed, Diddy is screwed. And if he thinks he can get away with this, he's completely delusional.
The accusations include incidents ranging from 1995 to 2021.
How many years is that? That is crazy. 26 years, basically 3 decades of him behaving this way, behaving as a predator.
Taking place at locations like a department store stockroom, hotel, and an event space bathroom. Some involve Combs and his, quote, agents and employees using this container to insert drugs into alcoholic drinks at parties.
Wow.
One complaint describes an alleged incident between a then 16-year-old and the music mogul at one of his infamous white parties in the Hamptons back in 1998.
These parties are widely known of being extravagant and wild, but obviously there was some issues going on here, and this alleged victim, he's basically R. Kelly at this point, but it adds another layer, that the fact that he was abusing all types of people, didn't matter their age, and the fact that he's doing this in high profile events, and you know that it has to be celebrity witnesses or celebrity participants. So that's what I'm thinking in terms of, is this bigger than Harvey Weinstein? It's possible. These cases are going to span 3 decades of what's been happening. Just shows the level of exploitation, this criminal behavior on display. And as much as some things happen behind doors, it was public. The whole industry knew about what this guy was doing. They may not have known the severity, but actually some do know the severity.
One of his defense attorneys, Mark Agnifilo, actually even said Diddy plans to testify when it comes time for trial.
There's no way that's going to happen. There is no way he is going to try to testify. For what? I mean, this is going to be a wild situation, clearly. How is he going to be able to even defend himself when there's so many people pointing fingers at him? Come on. I mean, the prospect of him testifying feels like it's a bluff, like it's some kind of desperate attempt to appear confident in the face of overwhelming evidence. If this many people are willing to testify against him, the chances of him walking free are virtually non-existent. There's no way he is going to testify. Or maybe he is just as much of an egomaniac as many people say that he is. I want to talk about this person that talked about these details of what was happening in these parties. This was the environment that Diddy put together so he can continue to abuse his victims.
The allegations against P. Diddy just keep on coming, this time from a British TV host with hundreds of thousands of Instagram followers. Now, she's revealing the shocking details of Diddy's parties with guest lists of underage girls whose drinks were laced with drugs. It's just another accusation in a long list of others, all alleging a pattern of abuse at the hands of Diddy spanning decades. Muir says she moved to New York in 2005 and was told that she needed to network to make a name for herself in the entertainment industry. That led Muir to some of Diddy's parties, where she allegedly witnessed some sinister actions, young girls being drugged against their will and forced to have sex. She told the Daily Mail, quote, "I wanted to be invited and be around these amazing and incredible people, so if you had the opportunity, you went. Back then, we didn't have the luxury of social media and Instagram to message a brand directly. Going to parties weren't just an option, but they were part of our job." According to Muir, shuttles or SUVs with tinted windows would pick up girls and take them to these Diddy parties that oftentimes had some major celebrity names. Muir says she was warned not to smoke any weed there because Diddy would apparently sprinkle stuff in it. On top of that, the vodka shots were apparently laced with drugs. At one point, Muir says she had a drink that was spiked, causing half of her face to go numb. She said, quote, "I truly believe that not participating in drugs prevented me from going into a dark place that many other girls went to."
The suggestion that not participating in drugs may have saved Muir from the darker fate speaks volumes about the kind of atmosphere Diddy allegedly cultivated. It implies that the use of drugs wasn't just casual, but it was encouraged and it was probably forced. So this was no party scene. This was a predatory environment. To Diddy, those people were the prey. So again, if this is proven, this is basically Epstein for the last 30 years, using his money and influence to control his victims. And in Diddy's case, it's like the drugs were a tool to make young girls more compliant. The idea that you're hanging out with celebrities, you're hanging out in Hollywood, Diddy can change your life, make you a star. The implications here are severe. And so this situation was spiraling out of control. And at this point, Diddy just didn't care. He did what he wanted, however he wanted, and a lot of people was cool about it, basically.
She says Diddy was obviously the leader of the pack, who took advantage of young girls who had showbiz dreams. It didn't matter if the girls were underage either. Muir says it was not a place for children as there was nudity and sex, but that didn't stop Diddy from recruiting young women, allegedly. Muir says, quote, "I saw people hooking up sexually. When I went to the bathroom, I saw condom wrappers and fragments of cocaine on the side with whatever thing they used to sniff it." She went on to say that as the leader, Diddy was never told no. She said, quote, "You can sense that he has a lot of confidence and that he likes to be in control and tell his inner circle what to do. And I don't think anyone ever really says no to him." Security guards were apparently also present at these parties, who were on the watch for anyone who pulled out their phones to take pics or videos. These personal recordings were not allowed, but Diddy himself was allowed to record. And according to Muir, there were cameras scattered around the rooms recording everything. Now, according to the federal indictment that was filed decades after these parties, Diddy would use these same recordings as blackmail against the survivors, saying he would release it if they spoke up about this alleged abuse.
This is maddening. This is the kind of person that, unfortunately, we have all spent our money, time, listening to the music, all the businesses that he created, and he was out there really breaking people down. Yes, Hollywood is full of people doing drugs, having sex, but the idea that you're forced to, then you're recorded, then you're blackmailed. This is the kind of person that is just a monster. He needed to be taken off the streets a long time ago. Like I said, this is going to get bigger and bigger and more disgusting as more details come out. And I'm wondering when is going to be the first Now, Cassie, you can consider her a celebrity, but I think a lot of people don't know who she is unless you are really into hip hop and R&B. I'm wondering, when is the big celebrity, people that every single person knows, someone that's maybe doing pretty well right now, that will come forward and say something? Because right now, a lot of celebrities are either paying off some of these suits so they're not publicly named. They're trying to not talk about it. They're not making any public statements. When will the other shoe drop? This is something that started. You can't stop it. This train is moving. People are going to talk. And I'm wondering who else is going to speak up. Again, someone that is powerful, someone that's a celebrity, someone that may get themselves in trouble as well, or someone who is a victim and finally want to say something. Because I think a lot of people are saying things. A lot of people are coming forward. More lawsuits are happening. Diddy will lose everything. In the next couple of months, we're going to see so much crap, and we're going to be checking that out. The fall of P. Diddy is going to open a lot of closets, and a lot of skeletons are going to be flying out that damn thing. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.